Hi, I'm Shannon Baker and I'm here at the Buccaneer Music Hall in Greenville where they offer line dancing lessons on Wednesday nights.
My name is Samantha Niskern. I bartend here, I work the door, teach line dance lessons on Wednesday nights, and then when I'm not here, I groom dogs at an animal hospital in town. The first few line dances I learned ever, which I do teach here, I learned in California when I lived there, just at a bar, just like we do here. I like the dance. I actually don't feel like I dance very well on my own, so it's nice to do something where the steps are told to me. So I really loved line dancing, and then when I moved here, I learned some just hanging out here. When lessons started and a friend of mine asked me to teach them, I couldn't turn it down. So I started teaching them, and then every time I see one I like, I will use like the internet, TikTok even, and I learn in my kitchen until I know it well enough to teach it here. I feel like a lot in life is all about networking. A friend of mine worked here and was hiring for door girls, and so I messaged him and I said I was interested in doing that on the weekends, and that's how I started almost 2 years ago now. I worked that forever and started picking up bartending shifts, and it's actually a friend that does some other booking stuff around town that asked me about line dance lessons, and so we started them at Dirty Dan's, and it just moved to the Buccaneer where it's stayed for a little over a year now. I would say the main age range is mid-20s, but I do get a little spice of some older groups. I've had a couple come in that was in their 60s and they killed it on the dance floor. They knew the dances better than I did, honestly, and they gave me a lot of recommendations on places that do it around the state. They were very cool. And then I do get some in their like 40s and sometimes 50s. In general, the same age range you see around the Buck anytime you come here is the age range I'm seeing at the lessons. I actually say this in my disclaimer at the beginning of my class if I see any new faces. The class is like if you were learning a line dance from your best friend in the backyard. That's what my goal is, to make the class, and even when I'm not trying, that's just how it ends up being. I'm very casual. I've never done it I've never danced in a professional setting, so I just don't have that feel about me. And I wouldn't feel comfortable with a stranger that was being I would feel out of place if someone was being really professional and technical about it. And so I try to make it as welcoming and, for lack of a better word, backyardy as I can. Most of the music I do it to is country music. I would say it's like a poppy country music. It's very popular. The songs you're hearing on the radio, those are the ones that tend to get popular. Even though I teach a dance, it's not choreographed by me. I actually haven't choreographed any of the dances I teach, but it's to an Ed Sheeran song. So you get a different blend of different songs. We do a dance to Burn It to the Ground. So you get pop country, you get older country, Watermelon Crawl, Boot Scootin' Boogie, and then even into that like hip hop style from Ed Sheeran. So you see it all. I just love line dancing, and I wanted anybody who wanted to love it too to be able to do it. And so I guess I just gained some like friends. I've actually made some really close friends from when I started. So I just gained like a Wednesday night of extra fun and a little bit of cardio. So I was in California because I was actually stationed there for 6 years, and I had a friend that was in the Navy with me that was actually born and raised in Farmville. And so when I got out and I wasn't sure where I was going to go next, she told me to come to Greenville and go to ECU. So I did, and I haven't left. It always depends on the people. I've gotten people that'll come to this class for the first time but have been doing line dancing for a really long time. I get people who have never line danced but always wanted to learn. And I always encourage those people. I always get I can't, I have 2 left feet. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you how to use them both. So I always encourage, so it does depend on the person, but I tend to get a lot of good feedback. Even if you learn one dance and it's the easiest one, you leave learning something, having a good time. And everyone is surprised by the workout that it is. It burns a little more, like a few more calories than you'd expect it to.